Om Vang me manasi pratisthita mano me vachi pratishthitam aviravirma edhi vedasyama ani stha shrutam me ma prahasi anena dhitena horatran samdadhami ritam vadishyami satyam vadishyami tanmamavatu tadvaktaramavatu avatu mam avatu vaktaram avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Pishangarupach Subharo Vayodhach Shrushti Viro Jayate Deva Kamach Prajam Tvashta Vishyatu Nabhim Asme Atha Devanam Api Etu Pathach. Soon there is born a hero of golden red foam, an aspirant to the Godheads, a mighty bringer of riches and founder of our growth to wideness. Let the maker of forms loosen the knot of the navel in us. Let him set free the issue of our works. Then let him walk on the path of the gods. Or let the way of the gods come to us. This is Sri Aurobindo's footnote also. Soon there is born a hero of golden form, Pishangarupach, an aspirant to the Godheads, a mighty bringer, Subharo, a perfect bringer of riches, a founder of our growth to wideness, Vayodhach, the one who establishes literally Vayas. And Vayas is the extension in time. From here you know this word Vayas as the age. Most probably you have it in India somewhere. Or the extension in space also. Like weaving, it's from the same root. To weave, it's a tapestry in time and space. So the one who extends, who establishes the extension in time and space, the one who brings perfectly the riches Sri Aurobindo adds, because what else is he bringing? And his form is of golden red, Pishanga. Let the maker of the forms, Tvashtar, that's how he translates Tvashtar. Tvashtar is the maker of the forms. Loosen Vishyantu Nabhim, the knot of the navel, Asme, in us. Let him set free the issue of our works, Vishyantu Prajam. So he translates Praja as the issues of our works, not as the offspring. It's very often Sri Aurobindo does this, yes? The offspring for him is the result of what we did, of what we accomplished, achieved, realized, made. So the issue of our works is Prajam. May he Vishyanto, set free. So Prajam and Nabhim are here in going in one way, both accusatives, so to say. Prajam, which is Nabhim, yeah? May he loosen the navel, which is offspring in us. Navel offspring. Interestingly, that navel itself, I put here especially for this purpose, is something from root nab, to burst asunder or into a hole. Nabhi, there is another word for the heaven. The navel like cavity, the navel. We have the navel of the wheel also, a central point of junction or of departure, home, origin, relationship, even affinity. This is all Nabhi. Something which connects us to our origin, something which connects us to where we are coming from. And from here, this navel idea, yes, because navel is that cord, navel cord, which connects us to the mother's womb, to our origin, where we are coming from. So may he, Tvashtar, who is the creator of forms, loosen the navel, the connection to the origin of our offspring. So to say, in the occult sense, if I would translate this, it would mean that may the offspring which we created be free from the origin, from us, has its own life, move and act, live free from the attachment to the origin, to the home. So to say, have its own life, independent life, if you will. Makes sense.
Vladimir?
Yes.
Could this also be the granthis that we have in us? The knots, like the Brahma Granthi, the Vishnu Granthi, the Rudra Granthi that tie us.
Yes. You are granthi, you are kind of taking the word from another language into English, yes. But right, this idea to be free from the influence of the origin, yes, to have its own life, to have its own value, purpose. This is an important point, which Shubin also emphasizes the same as you are saying, that you remember when he prays to gods, he says, Kali, or this, to Varuna, give me the vastness, and Mitra, give me the luminosity, and so on. And you, Kali, destroy the dependence of me on these influence. So we need to receive the input from the origin, but we should not stay attached to the origin. This is something which is very difficult to achieve, to be free, independent thinker, living one's own life, discovering one's own truth, yes, building one's own universe, world. We are to build one's own universe, our own universe. So in a way, it's quite obvious. Ramakrishna was also mentioning this beautifully. He said that, most probably I was mentioning this, that the disciples, they think that they are already independent from the teacher, and they fly like the birds fly over the ocean, and teacher is like a boat on which they rest. And so after resting on the boat, they continue their journey over the ocean to another shore, and finding no place to rest, they come back to the same boat. So something of the kind, so we come back to our origin always. We always rely on the past. But I don't think this is the way to go forward. We cannot rely on the past. We have to go forward. We have to live, to look into the future, as Mother says. Yes, inheriting all that, the best from the past, from the origin, taking all of it, we have to spring forward boldly, as Mother says for Orville, boldly spring forward towards future realizations. But looking back, always back, this prodigal son returns, all this is the very religious idea, not spiritual. So I'm surprised to see this here, that it is such a profound modern or integral yoga idea. May Tvashta, the creator of forms, separate or break, let us say, and the navel. When we cut the navel cord, the child becomes independent from the mother, from the source, lives his own life, as it were. Not immediately, of course, the mama is needed, but yes, eventually. Tvashtar is an interesting godhead. It's one of the most ancient godheads, yes, in the Rig Veda. The archaic godhead, maybe even older than those Varuna, Mitra, Yaman, Bhaga, or at least of the same age with them. He is the carpenter. Later, you don't find this idea in the Vedic and post-Vedic literature. It's just something, some remnants from the ancient Veda. The carpenter who from the wood carves the first forms which can carry soma. First living, let us say, a cell. He creates a cell which can live and multiply. He creates the organic form of matter. And that is expressed in the form that he can carry, he can hold soma. The form itself, he created a ladle, the spoon as it were, which can carry soma. So can hold soma without spilling it. That means the physical form can embody in itself immortality. Because what is immortality? Is that we multiply. So if my form dies, my offspring will live. So this is the idea of immortality in the physical form. Physical form cannot sustain itself, but the offspring will continue. So that's why cells are multiplying, and any trees also, look at this, trees produce fruits, seeds, and seeds produce other trees. The father tree died long ago, and new trees, the whole forest comes into being. So this is the idea of immortality in the physical, the holder of soma, and Tvashtar is the one who created the first form. Maybe that's why he is so archaic. And the wood is not mentioned anymore as the element, or some kind of fifth element or sixth element. In Chinese, they mention wood as one of the major elements. That means they had no idea that the wood is actually not an element, but as a organic matter which was created long ago. They don't see it. They use it as a water, fire, air, and wood, and stone, which is not, which shows us that they didn't have that idea or that philosophy of creating life within matter. Maybe they didn't know about it. Their origin does not permit them to know this. So Tvashtar was the first who created the physical form, the physical cell, which can multiply. And then we know Ribhus. We mentioned Ribhus before. the three brothers, who continued this building the form in the vital, mental, and even over-mental form. So they kind of build other forms upon this physical form, first cell. So they started to develop vital and mental and over-mental formations of consciousness in evolutionary kind of way. And Tvashtar was very envious of them, hated them actually, because they took over his work. He thought he will continue doing this. So he created the first form, and these three developed his work even further. And they earned their place in Soma sacrifices, Soma yagas. They invited Ribhus, though they were not gods, they were some kind of forces of man. They were like man. Interesting, yeah? This evolution of man. And they earned their place at Soma Yagas. Right? The hero of golden form is born seeking the godhead, carrying or supporting willingly all Subharo, establishing the vastness of for us, Ayodhah. Tvashtar should loosen the knot of the navel of the offspring in us. And thus the traveler should go on the path of the gods. It's like producing the being and letting it go on the path of the gods. So Tvashtar is he has his own place in Aprisuktas. In every Aprisukta, Tvashtar will have this place. In particular, his verse, creating the form, creating the physical body. And then, Vanaspatir avasrajan upasthat agnir havich sudayanto pradhibhich tridha samaktam nayatu prajanan devebhyo daivyach shamitopahavyam. The plant capital P, is with us streaming out the wine. This plant, which he created, Tvashtar, the first ladle which could hold Soma, is now the living being, Vanaspati. It is the embodied spirit, actually, has the spiritual presence, has its own body, the plant, the greenery. The plant, Vanaspati, literally the Lord of Vana, the Lord of delight. Interesting, yeah? Vanam is the delight. And the forest. The Lord of forests, or the Lord of delight, Avasrajan, drips down, or kind of streaming out the wine. Streaming, the wine Shobindo adds with capital W, that means Soma. Upasthat, with us. Upasthat literally should approach us, or approaching, he, how to say, closely staying, he releases the delight. The delight is being released, literally. The Lord of delight approached us, streaming the bliss. Fire speeds the oblation by our thoughts. Agnir havich sudayati pradhibich speeds forward with our thoughts, or by our thoughts, speeds forward the offering. Offering is that what we offer for the transformation to the fire. So the delight is being poured onto us, and the fire takes the offering and speeds us forward. Let the divine achiever, Shamitha, understanding, lead the offering triply revealed in his light on its way to the Godheads. Triply revealed, Tridha Samaktam, literally triply thrice consecrated. Samaktam, it's from Anj, to anoint, yeah? Triply perfectly prepared for the offering. He should lead Prajana knowingly. Nayatur should lead Devebiach for the gods. Daiviach Shamita, the divine achiever. Avyam, our offering. So the Lord of Delight approached us, streaming the bliss. Agni speeds up the offering call, Havich, by our thoughts' consecrations. Interesting that I'm kind of keeping Havich as an offering call from root Hve and Hu, Juhoti and Vayati, to call and to offer. So this calling and offering is the same idea, invoking with the help of our concentrations, thoughts concentrations. We fix our consciousness upon Him, the divine, and invoke Him. This is and Agni, the flame of our aspiration, is speeding those fixations of our consciousness as invocation forward. Yeah? Very psychological meaning. The divine knower and achiever, Daiviach Shamita, should lead the thrice consecrated offering to the gods. Thrice consecrated, we can, or triply anointed, Shubhendu gives a footnote. So it means supported by our physical, vital, and mental consciousness. Yeah? They are all three of them giving their consent for this transformation. It's not only mental, yes, so I decided that I will do this. It's not enough. Vital has to agree, and the physical has to agree. All of them have to participate in this invocation offering. And the last verse. Ghritam mimikshe, ghritam asya yonich, ghrite shritach, ghritam vasya dhama, uasya dhama. Anushvadham avahamadaya svaha kritam vrishabha vakshi avyam. I pour on him the running light, for the light is his native lair. He is lodged in the light is his plane. According to thy self-nature, bring the gods and fill them with rapture, O male of the herd. Carry to them our offering, blessed with Swaha. Swaha is the ritualistic invocation. There are two, Svadha and Swaha. Actually, in Auroville, we have two sisters, French sisters. One is Swaha, another is Svadha. It's funny. They are very different, actually. Like Swaha and Svadha, very different invocations. So Svadha invokes Pitris, and Swaha invokes the gods. Pitriyana and Devayana, these two. So with Swaha, invoking the gods, he should fill the gods who coming down with the delight, make them rejoice. Mixing with ghee, I'm kind of translating mimikshe ghritam mimikshe. The clarity of the mind, for his container is clarity of the mind. In this clarity he finds his refuge, for this clarity is his establishment. In accordance with your own will, bring to us the gods, O Agni, and make them enjoy the delight of existence. Make them rejoice. O Lord, bring to them our offering with Swaha. Interestingly, when the gods descend, they have to enjoy the manifestation in us. This transformation, this bringing, this finding the divine within the non-divine settlements, so to say. A hidden divine has to be found and revealed. And this is the work of the gods. It generates a lot of delight. When we discover the true meaning of our being, of every element in our life, when we discover the true meaning of that element in our life, that generates the delight. Okay, this is the whole hymn. I will stop here, and I know there are more things to say, but I don't want to overload. I feel already that's something too much buttery. Yes, Kinshuk, you are muted.
Yeah, in that last line, Vladimir, Swadha and Swaha both occur together. Anuswadham, is that the same word?
Oh, I didn't see it. Yeah, you see, you noticed something she didn't see. Anuswadha, Anuswadham could be. But Swadha has long R, but in this case of
Swadham, okay, right.
but no, but you're right, because in this particular formation of the avyayam, the long R will be shortened and it will be in neuter. It's indeclinable, anushvadham. I have to check where it is kind. Most probably following anusvadha, yes. Following svadha, following the Pitris, yes. It would be amazing. So this would be lovely if it is this. I think it is. You hit the point.
If it is.
You hit the point. Yeah, Anushvadham, according to one's will, I am translating. Svadha, yes. It is from Svadha. Literally, Svadha, establishing oneself, yes? And Svadha is, because of that, is with Pitris, because it is self-establishment. It is that our lineage, so to say, yes? Our kind of genome which we pass forward is to be taken care of, whereas the Swaha or the Devayana is about the development of our soul. So, yes, it is this. You are right. Following the Svadha, I translate it as following one's will. And Sri Aurobindo also, according to thy self nature, translates. He doesn't translate that in that sense, but it is not maybe psychologically needed, but it is needed for us to understand these two movements, two evolutions, parallel evolutions, which are going on of our body.
One.
Yes, yeah, you're muted again.
Oh, One is a desire for individual growth, and the other is to spread the goodness in society by the use of the genome. Can we understand it like that?
Yeah, you can. You can. One is for the divine growth in us through our reincarnation. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, okay.
And other is that we have to take care of our earth, environment, yeah, genome, children, offspring, children of our children. So these Aprisuktas are the same throughout the Veda, and the same godheads. Yeah, Tvashtar, Vanaspati will be there, and Svaha at the end. It's like a format. Yeah. So if you take other Aprisuktas, you will be surprised how close it is. The same language is used. So it does something. It wants to build some something. Nobody cracked these Aprisuktas. Nobody knows what it does, really.
Is it a sequence?
It is, yes. It is a sequence. But what? Nobody knows what sequence it is. If you look at it again, truly speaking, we can only guess about the sequence. So here it is. So first is Agni, has to be kindled.
Samidha, Agni, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah,
Yes.
sorry.
Samidha Agni, yes. And then Narashamsa, definitely.
Right.
It has to be there. Next one, second one. And then there will be a shift. Narashamsa is also very archaic and is met only in the Aprisuktas, so we do not know really totally what it is. Praised by all the forces, all the divine forces, all the heroic forces of the soul. He is praised. Oh, who is voicing the gods? It is the name of Agni. The one who is praised by all the gods, or the one who voices all the gods, as Sri Aurobindo translates it. Yes. So first he is to be kindled, then he has the quality of voicing all the divine forces. And then Ila, Elita, he is adored. He is adored, and he has to bring all the gods, sacrifice all the gods, manushat purve, from before man was man. He is the one who is from the beginning of time. He is now adored or sought with adoration. Yes.
One sec, Vladimir. Ila can be because earlier you had said Ila is the divine inspiration, or is it discrimination?
Yeah, Ilas, Saraswati Mahi, yes, it's the divine revelation. Yeah.
Revelation.
Yeah, but not in this id. It is ila. It's id. You see a little different, and long e. It's id to seek with adoration. Agnimile. That's there. Yeah?
Okay.
So
Adoration.
yeah, Agni is manasa nach, with our mind adored constantly. Great one. Yes. He should sacrifice the gods here. He who today sacrifice, who is from before man was man. Sa avaha marutam shardho achyutam, and he should bring the army of maruts, indram naro brihashadam, barhishadam yajadvam, and he should sacrifice Indra in our vacant space. So Maruts and Indra are mentioned here. He adored with our mind. he should bring the higher powers of Indra who will ignite the Maruts. Maruts are our thought powers, thought energies will be ignited with the Indra's light and will be sacrificed in our empty space. And then Barhis. Barhis is the mast for the Aprisuktas, that space which we have to create for the gods to come to our sacrifice. So, kindled Agni, kind of voicing all the godheads, adored with our mind, should bring and sacrifice here the gods, Indra and Maruts. It's interesting because Indra is on the other shore, he is transcendental godhead, and Maruts are on this shore. Yes, Indra is Aditi's son, and Maruts are Diti's children. Yeah? And when they come together, that's the union of heaven and earth, yes, in action of Indra. And then Barhis, Deva, Barhir, Vardhamanam Suviram, Stirnam Raye Subharam Vedyasman Asyam, sorry. Vedyas, Asyam. On this Vedi, you kind of spread around the growing vacant space for more and more gods to come. Garitena Aktam, anointed with Garita, with clarified bhata over the clarified mentality. Vasavach Siddhata, the Vasus should sit at this place, anointed with Garita. And Vishvedevach and Adityach Yajniyasach. Now all the godheads, all the classes of the gods mentioned, Vasavas, Vishvedevas and Adityas. We spoke about them extensively. And then once this is defined, I think we are shifting now, drifting. So this is the whole vision of the sacrifice. Ignited Agni, voicing the gods, kind of adored with our mind, brings Indra and Maruts, brings widens the scope of our inner space, and brings to this space Vasus, Vishvedevas and Adityas. Vasus are the involved gods, Vishvedevas uninvolved universal godheads, and Adityas are transcendental godheads. All Yajniyasach, all worthy of the sacrifice. And then there is a shift, definitely a shift. Vishrayantam, Urvia, Huyamana Dvarode, Vih Suprayanana Mobih. May the portals, the goddesses' portals open wide for us, invoked by us, and lead us to the vastness. Vyachasvatih viprathantam ajuria varnam punana, purifying the quality yashasam and the glory suviram, full of power. They are now in action, the higher forces which are coming through these portals. And what are these forces? Here there will be the whole Vedic religion, coming into picture. This is Ushasana, so Nakta, I mean Mrs. Kta. This is usually Nakta. This is a mistake. When I take from one print to another, it drops Kta for some reason. Ushasana Kta. So the day and night coming, or the dawn and night, two sisters, twin sisters, yes, who are working together, Samichi, they tantum tatam samayanti. They are weaving the same thread through one tapestry, the dawn and night. This is a much more, how to say, not practical, but applied spirituality, if you will. So day and night, yeah, our um, revelations and our whatever we got it through our inspirations and revelations, we have to bring into our unregenerated being in the night. We are waking up and getting the experience of the wakeful consciousness and then bring it into the inconscient through sleep, through night. So they weave the same thread. These two cows, they feed the same Agni. Yes? Payasvati, they are full of the payas, of this nourishing milk knowledge of our consciousness growing here. Applied spirituality. Then Daivya Hotara, two great divine Hotars, Prathama, the original ones, yeah, who have the higher knowledge, or the highest Vidushtara, Riju Yakshatach, Samricha Vapushtara. They are the more beautiful and the greater than all. Yes? And with Rig Veda, with the flaming word of the truth, they should sacrifice here. Divanya Jantao, may they sacrifice all the Godheads here, these two divine Hotars, Sun, uninvolved and involved. We spoke about Surya and Vivasvat, as it were, holding the whole manifestation in their embrace. And then three rivers come. They are a must. They are a must for this Prisuktam. Saraswati Sadhayanti Dhiyamna Ila Devi Bharati Vishwaturti and Tisro Devi Svadhaya Barhich Edam Achidram Panto Sharanam Nishadya. They should create for us the uninterrupted protection. Saraswati, Ila, and Bharati, the three currents of the supermind. Ila is the revelation, Saraswati is the inspiration, and Bharati is the manifestation in the vastness. Or seeing, hearing, and touch, if you will, if we translate it in terms of the faculties of consciousness. And then we come to these verses which we read today. Golden in form, carrying perfectly and establishing the vastness for us. The hero Virach Jayate is born, Deva Kamach, desired by the gods. Now finally we have the product of all this. Yeah? Someone is born, the hero is born, who is beloved of the gods, Deva Kamach. Prajam tvashta vishyantunabhima asme. And in us, the offspring has to be released by the creator of forms. May the creator of forms release the offspring from the navel within us, as it were, not from the navel offspring, which is connected to the origin, has to be released, has to be born, has to become independent. And on the paths of the gods, he should travel forward.
Vladimir, I have a question here.
Yeah.
This who is born, this hero of the golden red form,
Right.
do we have to release him?
Yes, yes.
I see. Not progeny.
It is progeny. It
Yes,
is
that
him
is.
who is now transformed, who is now, if we take it consequentially, as Kinshuk suggested, then this is the way. We are coming to the birth of the divine being, the Vira, the hero, who has to have his own life, has his own, and has to be released and follow the path of the gods.
I see. Thank you.
Everything else
Vladimir,
before was just making it happen. Yes.
could it also mean not to be attached to the whatever has been created, to the work, uh,
Also,
issue of
yes,
the
not
work?
to be attached to the origin, yes, to all these godheads and all this, not to rely on them all the time, but to have one's own life, making one's own mistakes, not just relying all the time. It's in them, it's for them, because of them. Mm. The Supreme wanted to be many, Mahosyam, as we read in Taittiriya. And what does it mean to be many? Did he want to always relate to himself there, kind of to that one being who is holding all? Or he really wanted to be many? That means many supremes. I think he wanted to be many. And this is the mystery of this creation, which is until now not cracked. Nobody even dares to think in that sense, that many supremes. We are thinking in terms of oneness always. Oneness, where the whole world is one. We are one, and this and that. But he wanted to be many. Every one of us had to be oneness. As in another place in the hymn to Aditi and Aditya's, Vasishtha would start his hymn, Adityasach Siyama. Aditayo Adityasach Siyama. This is unbelievable statement. May we be Aditis and Adityas. How come? Aditis? Many Aditis? How can you be many Aditis? Aditi is only one, the Divine Mother. This is the supreme vision. May we all be supreme. These are worlds upon worlds, or worlds within the worlds. So this idea of many with this supreme touch is a total revelation. It's a Vedic vision. Actually, it's in the integral yoga also. Yes, from here we get this idea of immortality of every individual. If we are immortals, can you imagine? You are immortal, not in this body, which is aching and this and that and stupid, but in the body which is totally luminous, and you are uniquely looking at the world and have unique relations with the whole world. Nobody else has those, yeah. And everybody has infinitely unique relations with everybody else. How much we can multiply the delight. So this is the idea. So this new hero is born finally, and he has to be released. He has to be getting free from its origin. The navel has to be cut. The navel track or the navel cord has to be cut, and he has to follow the path of the gods. And Vanaspati, the lord of the Soma, should drop Avasrajan, a kind of rain upon him the delight. Upasthat should approach, raining upon him the delight on this being who is born. Yeah? And Agni should speed up his offering, yeah, by the concentrations, dhibhi, or by the meditations. Tridha samaktam nayatu prajanan, and the creator of all things, Shamita, should lead triply consecrated the offering to the gods. Triply consecrated, we are now working in the world, and the world is being transformed by us and through us. And all the here in this world is triply consecrated by our being, given to the gods. Because this garitam, this luminous mentality or spiritual mentality is mixing with the world. Garitam asya yoni, and garitam is his yoni, origin. Garite shritach, it is in Garita he is staying. Garitam u asya dhama, and Garitam is his station. Anushvadham avahamadayasva, and make all the divine forces rejoice here by bringing them here according to Swadha, according to the Pitriyana, according to the need of the development of the physicality of the material manifestation. Bring here the gods and make them all rejoice here. Oh Lord, bring our offering in the form of Svaha. In other words, make it totally divine. Well, I tried to link all the points here in one. It's a very rare attempt. I never do this because it's but there is some thread. You could feel it, yeah. So there is a story here. We tried to create the story of the fullness of realization.
Vladimir, it's something also like in Savitri then, Savitri's tapasya, and then on page 695, when she's talking to death, and he says, ascend, O soul, into thy timeless self, choose destiny's curve and stamp thy will on time. He ended, and upon the falling sound, a power went forth that shook the founded spheres and loosened the stakes that hold the tents of form. Absolved from vision's grip and the folds of thought, wrapped from her sense like disappearing scenes, in the stupendous theater of space, the heaven worlds vanished in spiritual light. So it is only when those 4 tenths of form are cut, like here, the knot is cut, only then you can ascend to the highest supreme. Just like what's mentioned right here.
Very
that
nice. Very nice. Actually, this is the mystery of the birth of the immortal, independent supreme, because we are all linked to that oneness of nature. We are all kind of generated from that inconscient. We grew up from the inconscient in the form of matter, and to become free from it, to cut that connection and to move on the path of the gods is a mystery. We can't move anywhere. We are totally kind of in the prison of nature. We are built by this material. Yes, Kinshuk.
I have a terribly mundane thought on this, Vladimir. I have to share this.
Yes.
So, not only are we chocolate factories, we are supposed to also produce other chocolate factories of different kinds of chocolates.
Nice.
We are supposed to produce the children chocolate factories.
Yeah. I would say we are like honeybees. we have to create the honeycombs, and and those drops of honey have to to feed all other honeybees and all other honeycombs, and will share their honey drops with us. And every honey drop will be of a unique delight taste, something like this. But chocolate factories will do. Yeah, it's overwhelming to think of these matters. They never come to our mind, but here they are. Yes, Robin, you are shining, so that means you want to say something also.
Yeah, I had a thought. There's a book, I think it was in French originally, called Le Petit Prince. Do you know the book?
No, I don't know.
It's about the little prince. And
Oh yeah, Little Prince, yes, I know.
he
Yeah,
had
read
a
it in
planet
Russian.
of his own. And what I'm thinking is that in the universe, we have so many trillions of planets and stars and celestial bodies. Could it be that these are all manifestations of beings who have evolved and eventually had their own planet? Just like we in our solar system, there's deities of each of our planets. The universe has plenty of space for lots of beings. So I'm wondering if that isn't what they all are.
Yeah, universe has an infinite space.
And it's expanding.
And expanding is only our bubble, but there are many more beyond which we have no idea about, because where this space is hanging after all. Yeah. So it's not hanging anywhere. If it doesn't hang anywhere, that means what? That means there is no end to it. Space is infinite, and space is infinite, and time is infinite, and the divine is infinite. And this is kind of difficult to understand, that it is infinite. And we are kind of embodying only a partial kind of portion of that infinity in a particular framework in time. And we have a potential to embody the whole infinity. But we have to grow in consciousness, right? Prince, yes, yes. According to the mother, this earth is more unique than we think. It's not one of the planets. No, it's not like that, according to our story of integral yoga. And it was a big surprise for me, because I thought also in terms of Little Prince, of that there are so many planets, so many creatures, so many civilizations. We watch these movies where all these aliens come and they can live together and talk in different languages and different creatures. This is how we think, how our mind thinks about it. But we didn't find any one planet where there could be life, physical life. Yeah? So until now, with our telescopes, with all this, it's very difficult for us to find anything close to that what our Earth represents. It's a totally unique formation. Absolutely. You are in the physical body and it obeys your will. Can you imagine? Obeys your spirit. You can talk, think. Where would you find such creatures? It's not a small thing. It's a huge thing. And it's a physical body which is charged with consciousness and constantly becoming more and more capable of conscious actions and understanding and delight and truth and all those things which we discuss. So according to the Mother, Earth is the psychic being of this universe. As we have psychic being, this evolving soul within us, so the Earth is the planet on which this is becoming possible. And to be evolving in consciousness, One has to take birth on earth. If you want to evolve, to change, to grow, you must take physical body on earth. Because this physicality is not just physicality. It's not just physical planet. It is a psychic planet. It has its own spirit. It's not because we are psychic beings here living on Earth and Earth is just a planet. No. Earth is the mother who gave us this opportunity to grow the psychic being. There's some mystery about Earth. Oh, Rashi, you're with us. Nice.
I could not resist because he spoke about the Little Prince, and I have performed the Little Prince in so many places. I did the entire solo performance of that play. So I had to come. And also because I was gone for such a long time. And in the end, I was in a retreat where we actually discussed all of this. This was the whole retreat about, because it's like this, that we cannot see a ghost or we cannot see an angel because they're in a different energy frequency. So we may not be able to see human as human life on other planets, but there are so many constellations and galaxies and star systems where they have their beings vibrating in their frequency, which we may not be able to capture with our eyes and our mind and our ears. So, but what Vladimir said is what also was discussed, that, for various beings to be able to interact in the highest plane and evolve from wherever they were, they had to come to Earth. So it was like that. So it's like after such a long time, I come here and I get to hear a culmination of all the things that my life is about. So thank you.
Very good.
Yeah, it's true. There are beings. It's not, nobody says that there are no beings, but in the physical form like this, where physical matter is carried forward, is a bit a different story. There are also all kind of machinery, typal beings who are not evolving. They may be even kind of repairing or reproducing themselves, but they are not evolving. That means they are not growing in consciousness. They are stuck to the formations of their own. And if they want to evolve, Mother says they have to take birth, take body on earth. Then they will be given this opportunity to evolve, to change. Even great gods, she says. Even asuras and great gods, if they want to change, they have to take earthly body. Interesting, yeah? They will not change until they do that. And here there is an opportunity. We have this immense opportunity to grow in consciousness. So let us not squander our opportunity. Well, maybe it's not too late. It would be nicer to do it earlier in life. When you're 20, you do only that. Actually, I started my yoga from 20, but then it went many, many different ways. Auroville, things to be made, met people, discussions, mistakes, stupid things. All that was to be made. But truly speaking, it would be so nice not to do it.
Vladimir,
Hmm.
I have an observation here to make. Based on the readings of Sri Aurobindo, night is the unconscious. And like you said, they're the two sisters who work, weaving, and they are in balance. So all that you just described, all the things that we do in our unconscious, that is the night. It has to manifest in our life in order for the day to come. So the night and the day is beautifully balanced by Prakriti, by nature in us. But the moment we see that all our moments of unconsciousness, all our actions, our feelings, our thoughts, where we were unconscious, was actually the night in us. It's not the physical night, but it's the psychological night in us. And when we become conscious, that becomes the day, the psychological day in us. So we are forever moving towards that light, but we have to pass through the night. So even I used to think the same way, that I wish I had started the yoga in my teens and earlier and all. And I realized that I was introduced to the spiritual path when I was 14 and 15, but then it went in all directions because the night also had to express itself in my life. So this was just a thought that came to me. So it's a very recent thought. It came after reading, in fact, your PDF, which you sent to all of us. So I wanted to thank you for that. That's a very enlightening document. And
Dawn and night, you mean that, yeah?
yes, the day and night. And that made me think deeply. So
Yeah.
it's just an observation I
No,
wanted to share.
true. I'm thinking also many times, like you said, same way. And definitely the night had to be there. I wish they had, and this is the wish for the next reincarnation, I'm sure, when it will be there, that the environment will be I wish I would not spend so much nonsense for the night, because when night comes, you can look at it as a necessity of the offering, or the work, or concentration, or holding breath, or something, the holding back, as it were. Whatever is needed, you do it with a conscious attitude, or you totally give in. And then you kind of dive into the night, and then you wake up and blaming yourself for everything you did, because your inner being cannot take it. Yeah? It doesn't want it. Somehow you're forced to fall into the night, and then you give in. It's like you're betraying yourself constantly. Something of the kind, yeah. So that thing I would like to kind of correlate, that if I go into the night, I go consciously. Now it's a night period. Yes, okay. There's the only lamp is the mind is the only lamp which can allow us to see anything. My corporate mind, yes, that means my physical mind is the only lamp in such a dense night. So then, okay, I hold on to it, I understand what is happening, and I'm not getting lost. I don't have to be lost. I want to keep this uninterrupted concentration, as it is said beautifully, achidram, yeah, achidram pantu, may they fill us without a gap. I don't want to have a gap overnight with my consciousness. So I hold on to it. And I had this period, by the way, 3 years and a half, where day and night I was totally in, there was no chidram. Yeah? It was the most productive period of my life when I was young. But then I lost it. Chidram appeared.
I think that when we reflect on our lives and the stupid things that we do, and the opportunities that we don't see, when we reflect on these things, then it serves to direct our future birth. We will be in a different circumstance, so that our environment is maybe more conducive to making better choices, being more aware, and so that we can be more productive throughout our lives, rather than wasting time and going down detours and being in whirlpools and all of these things that occasionally happen. So I think actually we're designing our future right now as we think. as we reflect on things. It's a maturation process we're going through, and there's no way around it. We're stuck in it.
I guess.
And I think, Vladimir, that the thing that you mentioned about being conscious and aware even of the darkness which we may need is probably what is being called the sunlit path, because you are aware all the time that, okay, I need this. And so I think
One thing I'm very happy with, I will tell you, kind of share with you, is that I was never mistaken night for something and the way to live. That this is right. Whenever I've drowned into the darkness, I knew that it is darkness. I didn't substitute it, didn't justify it. Oh, everybody lives like this. It's our natural way, who we are. Never did. Yeah, I always blamed myself for drowning into that ocean. Always recognized that this is not the way to go, and suffered from it. Maybe this is the way to learn. I don't know. Yes, maybe the lower being learns like this, that this is not the way. Suffering is the chisel of the gods, yes, which is sculpturing the better man. So maybe there was no other way. So am I coming back to Jayashri? There was no other way. Since it happened, it happened. But more opportunities were given to us. Truly speaking, the grace was giving us these opportunities. And we didn't use all of them. This is what makes me regret. And there's nothing wrong with this regret. Yeah?
No. In fact, Sri Aurobindo says that the sadhak has to pass through these nights. Everyone has to pass through hell in order to reach heaven. So he says it in Savitri, and he says it in his writings, that in the letters, that you have to pass through this phase. Everyone who is born on a physical body. So I don't think we should feel badly about it. I used to feel badly, but I'm like, okay, this had to happen, and I've learned my lesson. But now to look to the future and look at it. I mean, it's so beautiful. Here we are studying with you, interacting with the Sangha, with the community. What could be a better future than this, and a better present?
Now it is no problem, yes. But
yes.
Thinking about spent life with all this,
yes.
You look at it as if it wasn't yours or something. Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
So maybe the darkness was a form of purification.
Yes, we can look at it like that.
Yeah. It is something we need to change. We have to recognize what is to be changed and what we don't want to be.
I wish I had learned. I wish I had learned Sanskrit earlier. That's a regret, definitely.
When did you learn it? When did you learn?
Oh no, I didn't. I'm just starting with that course.
Oh wow! But you know so
Kinshuk
much.
is in our course, yes.
Yeah, I am.
We will do a very great thing in 2 years. You will see. This will do.
I hope. Good.
This much I promise.
Thank you.
It's 100%. Unless you give up, yes, unless you drop it and say, oh no, it's too much. This is not too much. Everything else is too much, but not this.
Okay.
She's thinking something with her military man around her, all the officers, generals, and she's there in her nice sari alone, and 100 officers are looking at her from all sides. Yes, Rashi, how was your...
I'm back in Auroville. Now this is my Auroville house. I'm back in Auroville. It's finished. Mission is over.
Mission is over?
I'm back.
Okay, great.
So I'm seeing this. I'm thinking that, between regret and hope. You said it's a promise, regret, hope, realization, promise. I guess this is all that we are traveling, right? Every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Okay, I will close with a mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.
Thank you.